and welcome to another episode of Dr. Mel's Message. I am doing a little bit something different today. Yes, I am interviewing an author, but not just any author, because I also have a YouTube influencer here. And I can't wait to introduce you not only to her books, but her YouTube site, because all the authors out there, you will really want to know this. So today's guest is Lisa Daly. Welcome, Lisa. How are you?
I'm well. Thank you so much, Melissa, for having me. I sure appreciate it. I'm delighted to be here with you today.
Oh, I'm excited because you've got a lot of things to offer, not just to my readership that are authors, but my readership that just love reading. So I don't even know where to start with you. So first of all, let's talk about your first book, Single Minded. Let's talk about that.
Well, Single Minded is my most recent book.
Oh, okay.
Which is, it's a romantic comedy. It's about a woman who is married to her childhood sweetheart, and it turns out he has been hiding a very big secret, which makes it impossible for them to stay married. And so she basically finds herself single and realizes, that she's 30 years old. She has never been on a date with anyone except her ex. So she is kind of going out into the world for the first time as a single woman.
Well, when did you first start writing?
Well, you know how it is. I mean, I was writing from the time I was a little kid, but my first book was published back in 2002. So, and that was Stop Getting Dumped. That was actually a dating advice book. So I've gone kind of back and forth between writing fiction and writing nonfiction dating advice.
Have you had a problem crossing over with your genres?
Yeah, so we were talking about this a little bit before. I have gone back and forth, and this is something I actually wanted to ask you about, because my first book was nonfiction dating advice. My second book was a romantic comedy called 15 Minutes of Shame. I went back to dating advice, back and forth, and I, in hindsight, I sort of wish that I'd chosen one pen name for my dating advice books and another name for my fiction, because the readers who like dating advice are not necessarily fiction readers, and my fiction readers are not necessarily dating. And so, I think sometimes that can be confusing for readers. But you have a lot of genres. So
I do have a lot of genres, and I go everywhere across the board, from children's fiction, educational books, to one on a serial killer. But my one advice to, sorry about this, my one advice to authors that consider using pen names, I'm against them, and I'll tell you why. When you're marketing a book, you're really not marketing your book at all. You're marketing yourself. Mm-hmm. People want to know who you are, what you're about. So if you establish pen names, you're going to have to come up with a whole different identity.
Right.
And nowadays, with social media like it is, with us having an ability to, you be in Florida and me in New Orleans, talking to each other, people want to see that connection. And if you have a pen name, there is no connection to a real person.
I think that is really, I think that's really good advice. I mean, for me in the beginning, the reason that, I wrote my first book, which was nonfiction, and used my real name because I was proud of it, and I wanted, that connection to this book. And the same thing was true for for my first novel, 15 Minutes. I wanted that connection. I was really proud of it. And it wasn't until later where I realized sort of marketing wise, and it was things with like mailing, email lists and new release notifications on Amazon and things like that, where, sometimes there was some issue.
I totally get that. What I have found is that I have a lot that do cross over, like my children's, people that buy my children's books. When they found out I wrote novels, I go, oh gosh, she's for us now. But then they have the connection to me already.
Right.
But I've also, when you cross genres like that, you hit it a minute ago about know who you're marketing and target them. Like if I have a children's book, which I do have coming out this month, actually, it's for children and to those parents. So I will be marketing those to those. Now, when I release another book about the keystroke killer, I already know that audience. So
Right.
those people. So know your target audience if you're crossing genres. That's the key to it.
Absolutely.
Now,
Well, and I imagine you have, I mean, you also have some books about, about how to launch a book and
right,
things
right,
like that,
right. I
right?
do.
So you have those craft books kind of interspersed in between all those other books. So,
Right. And people ask me all the time if I'm schizophrenic, like, which Melissa Cottle are you? You know? But,
yes.
now, let's talk about your YouTube channel for a minute.
I am so proud of this channel. It's called Bestselling Author Writing Coach. As you already know, I'm a traditionally published bestselling author, and one of my favorite things about doing the writer events that we all do was talking to aspiring authors, aspiring writers, and I wish I could do more conferences, but I can't. And so I sort of saw this as a way to be able to help other writers, kind of figure out publishing, figure out how to write a book, while being able to do this from my house. And they can do it from their houses because obviously not everybody can show up to an in-person event. And it's just been incredible. It's been going on for about a year. My goal was to help people write a book they're super proud of and get it published. And yeah, it's just been this incredible experience, and I love it. I get all these amazing questions from writers. I've gotten some incredible feedback, and we've covered everything from like really easy stuff, sort of how, explain the 3-act structure, which is pretty simple, but can seem very convoluted, all the way to things like what it's like to sell foreign rights for your books. So,
Right.
I really just covered the gamut. Whatever my aspiring writers want, that's what I'm going to make.
What's been the most unusual question you've gotten on your YouTube channel?
Oh, so I get so many. So one question that I've gotten a lot more than I anticipated was, do you need to include sex in a romance novel? And of
Very
course,
good.
the answer is no, right? There are all different temperatures from, holding hands, just all the way to, super, super steamy. But I was surprised at how many aspiring romance novelists there are who really don't want to get anywhere near, the physical aspects of relationships, of a romance.
Yeah,
So I
it
thought
crosses the line of erotica or romance. What
right,
are you writing?
right,
What's your
exactly.
target? Yeah.
Right, exactly. Well, and that there are so many other, sort of subgenres now that, you have these like Amish romances and, all these other uh, different romance genres or subgenres that, that approach sex in all different ways. So absolutely, you can go, all the way this way or all the way that way. But if you want to write it, there is probably somebody out there who wants to read it. And so that's probably been the most surprising question that I've got.
That actually makes sense to me. Now, what do you have coming up? Besides your YouTube channel, you have another book coming out?
I do. I have not, it doesn't have a title yet, and
I love that.
it's not finished. I know you know what that's like.
I know that.
But it is another romantic comedy. It's funny because I've written, like I said, back and forth between nonfiction and fiction. And I do really like nonfiction a lot, but I will tell you that my first love is definitely fiction. It was true as a reader and is definitely true as a writer. So as I go forward, I can see myself more writing more fiction. But that's what I have coming up. That's my book I'm currently working on.
Now, for all those that are interested, all your books are available on Amazon, right?
They
So
are.
they can go to Lisa Daly and find your author page, and they can look at all your books. And give us your YouTube channel name again.
It's a best-selling author writing coach, Lisa Daly, which is a big mouthful of words, but if you just type in Lisa Daly, Daily, it will come up. So
there you go. Well, today we have been talking to Lisa Daly, quite interesting woman, plenty of books to keep you entertained, but for all you aspiring authors, if you need some help, hey, go to Lisa Daly, write her a question. I'll be following her, and you never know when I might show up on her channel.